When you commence an online dating relationship with your Filipina, should you be sending her any money at all? And if so, how much is acceptable to send? These are two very common questions I get asked all the time, and in this video, I'll give you the answers. So be sure to stay with me here. The question I have first up is, once you meet a Filipina online, why is it that some guys feel a sense of obligation to send her money as soon as they declare that they're boyfriend and girlfriend or in a dating relationship? I've heard of guys who haven't even known the Filipina for a month, and yet he's now sending her money, or at least asking, is it okay to send money and how much should he be sending? And the reason why some guys very early on feel the need to send money to the Filipina is simply because they've created an emotional attachment way too quickly with the Filipina. Many have thrown caution to the wind because they like the idea of having a beautiful, exotic girlfriend, most likely because it makes them feel good. But the problem here is that they can't possibly know in such a short time if the Filipina is genuine or not, and if the relationship for that matter is destined for greater things. Typically these guys skip what I call the chatmate stage and move almost straight into having an instant Filipina girlfriend. And right there lays the first big problem of feeling responsible in some ways for this stranger. When in your mind that you consider she's your girlfriend, then straight away you're giving yourself permission to look after her in many ways, including financially. One must know that in a true relationship, this is very normal. Think about it this way. If you meet a woman in any country and you like each other at the start, you just don't declare that you guys are in a dating relationship. Usually you may be friends for a period of time before maybe going for a coffee or lunch a few times and then trying a proper dinner date before possibly declaring that you two guys want to be in a dating relationship. Now typically this progression from friends through to a dating relationship will take several months. And after that it becomes more normal to give a gift or two and perhaps to even spend a little bit more money on her. So in an online relationship, some guys will completely skip the getting to know the Filipina stage first, or what I commonly refer to as a chatmate stage, and dive straight into the dating relationship stage. This mindset, of course, brings about the feeling of some sort of obligation, because now she's your girlfriend. Am I right? You see, a Filipina who doesn't have much in life, and despite not even really knowing her or much about her, you want to make her life a little easier. So these guys start sending her money before they even know her all that well, because their mindset tells them that this is my girlfriend rather than she's a chatmate, I'm still taking my time to get to know. For all you know, this Filipina may be also chatting to several other guys and also getting a few thousand pesos a month from each of them. Or perhaps she isn't, and she may be genuine. But the point is, how would you know? Right here, you're rolling the dice and plain out hoping that she is genuine. So that brings up two questions I pose in this video, and that is, when do I send money? And how much do I send to the Filipina? Now, in times of global difficulty, it really becomes not so cut and dry. Prior to COVID, I've always said never send her money until you've met in person, and still, that's my belief. But obviously, with no air travel possible, we need to be rather more flexible at this time. I would say for those that have known the Filipina for at least 3 months online, and she's never asked for money or told you stories that made you feel compelled to send her money, and you've never noticed any red flags that may give you concerns around her being genuine or not, Then I say, after 3 months, if you want to help her in some small way that won't break the bank and leave you short, then by all means do so. You'll find that the vast majority of non-genuine Filipinas won't hang around 3 months if they're not getting anything from you. They'll simply move on because they need an income. Now, deciding how much to send really depends on where your Filipina lives, because one must know living in the major cities will be more expensive than living in a province area. Other things to consider in making this decision is, does the Filipina have work and have a regular income? Or perhaps like many people in the Philippines right now, she doesn't have a job. Also consider this. Even Filipinas who may be a nurse or a teacher don't get a lot of money for doing that job in the Philippines. It's much different to many foreign countries where nurses and teachers are reasonably well paid. And consider who your Filipina lives with and be sure that the money you're sending is for her and not for a whole family. And you really want to understand right here that you don't want to be paying for everything in her life, but more so you want to be helping her out a little bit during a difficult time. Make your own estimate of what it would cost for the basic necessities in life, such as food, healthcare, clothes, and possibly transport to go to the market, or if she's actively looking for employment. You must know that I've heard of some guys sending 20,000 pesos a month, which for the vast majority of people in the Philippines, that's far more than they would earn in a full-time job. And you must do your own research around what different jobs typically pay in different parts of the Philippines and what the cost of living is in those areas before sending any money at all. Any Filipina that accepts 20,000 pesos a month would certainly feel as though she's hit the jackpot, and one would need to question why a proud Filipina would accept such an amount, and certainly what her motives are in this relationship. As a general rule, I'd say possibly 4,000 pesos a month, or around $80 if she lives in the city, will help her with some basics. And around 2,500 pesos a month, or that equals about $30 if she lives in a province area. Now, as I say, you need to remember you're not fully subsidising her lifestyle here, just giving her a small leg up in a difficult situation. And for any guys that may also want to help with other things such as course fees or utility bills, then I believe it's a fair thing to be asking to see the receipt, because some Filipinas will end up using that money for something else, and you'll later find out that her electricity has been cut off or she's behind on her course fees. But know that once COVID is gone and no longer an issue, I would certainly go back to never sending money until you guys have met in person and spent quality time together. Let me know in the comments your take on when and how much to send a Filipina, as I'm sure many of us have different views and ideas in this regard. If you're looking for more valuable information and tips around dating a Filipina, then be sure to check out my playlist on screen now. And be sure to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.